Italy, today a country of majestic cathedrals, Mediterranean coastlines, and shared identity, was once a fractured land, not a nation, but a jigsaw puzzle. In the early 1800s, the Italian peninsula was carved up by foreign empires and ruled by kings, dukes, and popes. There was no Italy, only the Kingdom of Sardinia, the Papal States, the Kingdom of the Two Sicilies, and northern regions like Lombardy and Venetia under Austrian control. But beneath this political patchwork, a deep sense of Italianness simmered. A shared language, culture, and ancient Roman heritage bound the people together, and in the shadows, something was stirring. A dream to unite the land. That dream took its first breaths in the early 19th century as Napoleon's conquests awakened nationalist ideas across Europe. His brief rule had united parts of Italy, and when he fell, many Italians weren't ready to go back to division. Secret societies like the Carbonari emerged, underground groups of students, soldiers, and thinkers who risked death to fight for Italian independence and liberal constitutions. They lit the fires of revolt in 1820 and 1830, but their revolutions were quickly crushed. Then came 1848, a year of revolution across Europe, and Italy was no exception. In Milan and Venice, people rose up against Austrian rule. In Rome, a short-lived republic was declared, but once again, foreign armies intervened, and the dream seemed crushed. Still, the failures weren't in vain. The flame hadn't gone out. It had simply passed to new hands. That's when Count Camillo di Cavour stepped onto the scene as the Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Sardinia. Unlike the idealists and rebels before him, Cavour was a master of diplomacy, economics, and strategy. He believed Italy couldn't unite through passion alone. It needed railways, factories, foreign alliances, and cold, calculated politics. Cavour modernized Sardinia and carefully positioned it as a rising power. In 1855, he sent Sardinian troops to fight alongside France and Britain in the Crimean War. Though Italy had little stake in that war, it gave Cavour a seat at the table of Europe's great powers. Then, in 1859, Cavour struck a secret deal with Napoleon III of France, helped Sardinia drive Austria out of northern Italy. War followed. It was brutal, but victorious. Sardinia won Lombardy, and other northern states began voluntarily joining Sardinia in a movement that suddenly looked like a real shot at unification. But while Cavour worked the chessboard of diplomacy, another man fought with fire. Giuseppe Garibaldi, the people's hero. A former guerrilla fighter who had battled across South America, Garibaldi was charismatic, fearless, and beloved by Italians. In 1860, he launched one of the boldest military campaigns in history. With just 1,000 volunteers, known as the Red Shirts, Garibaldi landed in Sicily, a region ruled by the corrupt Bourbon monarchy. What followed was a lightning conquest. With peasant support and military brilliance, Garibaldi swept through Sicily and southern Italy. Town after town fell. The Bourbons fled. And when Garibaldi reached Naples, the people welcomed him as a liberator. But Garibaldi wasn't after power. Instead of ruling, he handed the territory over to Victor Emmanuel II, King of Sardinia, a symbolic act that unified the North and South. In 1861, a new flag was raised. The Kingdom of Italy was born, with Victor Emmanuel as its first king, but not all Italians were part of it yet. The regions of Venetia and Rome remained outside the kingdom. Venetia was still under Austrian control, but that would change in 1866 when Italy joined Prussia in war against Austria. After the victory, Venetia was handed over. Rome, however, was more complicated. The Pope, backed by French troops, refused to cede the city. For nearly a decade, Italy existed without its spiritual and symbolic capital. Then, in 1870, the Franco-Prussian War erupted. France pulled its troops from Rome, and Italy moved in. After a brief siege, Rome was captured and became the capital of a united Italy. For the first time in centuries, Italians could say with pride that they belonged to a single nation. The unification of Italy, the Risorgimento, wasn't a single revolution. It was a complex dance of idealism, war, diplomacy, betrayal, and courage. From the smoky battlefields of Sicily to the marble halls of diplomacy in Paris, from secret societies to open warfare, the dream of unity endured. Italy was not gifted its freedom. It was built by rebels like Garibaldi, strategists like Cavour, kings like Victor Emmanuel, and countless nameless citizens who dared to imagine a homeland. A fragmented land had become a nation, and the world would never see Italy the same way again.